Yeah, we're good.
Call this regular meeting of council to order for February the 26th, 2024 at 7 p.m. I would like to recognize we're on Treaty 5 territory, ancestral land of Michizwayzit Cree Nation and homeland of the Métis. May I have approval of the agenda? Councillor Colburn, Councillor McIver, all in favor? Are you in favor, Councillor Fitzpatrick? You're on mute.
I'm in favor.
Next, community comments and feedback. Please come forward, state your name and have your comment. Second time, community comments and feedback. And third time, community comments and feedback. Please come forward if you're interested. Thank you. Seeing none, we're going to go into adoption of minutes. 5.1 is minutes for the public hearing for conditional use number 1 dash. Oh, yes.
Excuse myself.
Okay.
Do I need to?
Please note that Councillor Chong is
No, it doesn't need to.
Do need to,
excusing himself for conflict of interest. 5.1, resolution 2024-022, moved by Councillor Colburn, seconded by Councillor McIver. Be it resolved that the minutes of the public hearing for conditional use number 1-24-60 Road, held in Council Chamber, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Monday, February 12th, be adopted as circulated. As administration.
Nothing further.
Any other comments? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Councillor Fitzpatrick, are you in favor?
Yeah, I'm here.
No, he's unmuted.
Good.
Um, 5.2 is public hearing bylaw. Oh, sorry, Councillor Chong, sorry. Sorry, Councillor, I almost forgot to call you back.
Okay.
5.2 is public hearing bylaw 2040-2024, zoning bylaw amendment, Shoppers Drug Mart. Resolution 2024-023, moved by Councillor Colburn, second by Councillor McIver. Be it resolved that the minutes of the public hearing for bylaw 2040-2024, held in Council Chamber, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Monday, February 12th, 2024, be adopted and circulated. Administration?
Nothing further.
Council? Call for the question. All those in favor? Those opposed? Any opposed? Carried. Five point three is adoption of minutes for the regular meeting of council, February the 12th, 2024. Resolution 2024-024, moved by Councillor Chong, seconded by Councillor McIver. Be resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held in council chamber, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Monday, February 12th, 2024, be adopted and circulated. Administration?
Nothing further.
Council?
Nothing further.
All those in favor? At this time, I would like to acknowledge that we have Councillor Fitzpatrick on Zoom, and we have regrets from Councillor Deputy Mayor Valentino and Councillor Oberdorf. 5.4 is the adoption minutes for Committee of the Whole, February 20th, 2020. Resolution 2024-025, moved by Councillor Colburn, second by Councillor McIver. Be it resolved that the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting held in Council Chamber, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Tuesday, February 20th, 2024, be adopted as circulated. Administration,
Nothing further.
council. Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Next, we're going to resolutions. 6.1 is a motion to lift from the table. Lift from the table resolution to approve the land transfer. So first I need a motion to lift this from the table. Do we have a motion? Councillor Colbert, Councillor Wong, all those in favor? Carried. Now we will go to 6.2 is a resolution to approve the land transfer 335 Juniper to KNRC. Resolution 2024-013 moved by Councillor Chong, second by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Be it resolved that council approve the transfer land legally described as follows. The city of Thompson is registered owner subject to such entries recorded hereon in the following described land. At Thompson and being Block 1 Plan 50748 PLTO, exclusive of all mines, minerals, and other matters as set forth in the Crown Lands Act in 78-3 to Thompson Neighborhood Renewal Corporation for the sum of $26,083.13. Going to administration.
Yeah, so this is part of a project that was known as Our Home Kikino. It's like a Habitat for Humanity scheme that was set up in the city of Thompson. This land was sold in part of transfers, I believe, at least twice in the past, both of which were approved by council, but the Neighborhood Renewal Corporation at the time had not followed through with having the land transfer finished. During that time, the organization fell in arrears on taxes, but they brought forth a signed agreement with council to pay off their taxes, which includes financing through the banks. And that also requires that the land transfer finally go through and that they be fully responsible for the land.
Thank you. Councillor Chong is the mover. You have comments?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I need clarification about the resolution because the amount out there is $26,083.13 as compared to your agreement, which is $56,290.02. So is that a typo or typing error?
No.
Anthony?
So the original land sale was for the $28,000. That's what it's always been. That land was actually sold almost a decade ago. The agreement that you're talking of that's locked, that is the tax amount that they owe separate from the sale. So that the sale price was already done. We just have to mention that as part of the resolution to do the land transfer. This agreement is for them to pay back what they owe us.
Okay,
So we proposed putting it forward to do the land transfer. The council said not till they saw the payment agreement. So you're looking at the payment agreement for what's owed as taxes.
so that will be the amount to pay and not the $26,000?
That's correct. That 20-some thousand was taken care of over a decade ago.
So why did we make it $56,000 on that resolution?
This is their taxes and utilities they owe us.
Okay. And my second part of the question is, when I look at the agreement down there and they did not specify the name or the person that signature is of the, what do you call that, Thompson Neighborhood Renewal Corporation. That signature, is that the CEO or secretary or somebody that put the signature in down there? Can we put something that we can know that person that's putting the signature?
Yeah, that is Oswald Saw's signature. We can have it added to both
Can we do that?
copies of the agreements.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Wong?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Chong just took some question out of my mouth. So, but anyway, I have different question. If I read the agreement carefully, I mean, if I interpret it right, So we are charging 1.25% per month. Right, whatever the outstanding is. So if I do the math, so right now the commitment is $500 a month they're gonna pay, right? Is that what the commitment is? They're gonna pay $500 a month towards to the owing?
I think there's a misunderstanding here. This resolution tonight isn't even approving this agreement. Council already approved us to enter into this agreement. We're talking about a land
It's
transfer.
relevant, I think it's relevant because we are accepting the agreement. It's part of the deal. But when you look at the math, doesn't add up. I have trouble with that after look at the agreement carefully. So based on the amount that we're going to charge for interest and the amount they're owing, we are talking about just the interest alone is $703 a month, based on 1.25 or 56,000. So if they're willing to pay $500 a month, they're still short $200 a month. So even we enter this agreement, they were never able to pay back. They're still going to owe more after the period of time. That part I really don't understand. Is something wrong here or I read the number wrong? Can someone has explained to me why are we entered an agreement which is not able to pay back and agree on the payment? That part I really don't understand.
And
This agreement, like I said, which is the tax payment agreement, was what was brought to council where they proposed with their spreadsheets how they would pay you back, including how they were calculating their interest. And that's why I said that's not what this resolution tonight's about. Tonight's was about the transfer of the land. But members of council insisted in seeing a signed copy of the agreement that we were told to make based on that spreadsheet. So that's why that's attached tonight. This is what they had proposed to council and council had agreed to. Which then was to trigger us being able to do land transfer. So council now doesn't like this tax payment agreement. This is how it was developed. We would have to go back to them and say that there have to be changes made.
Madam Mayor, can I continue? It's not to say I don't like, but it just doesn't make sense, the number. For us to give them the land, the agreement is you have to pay back this with the payment plan. We agree on that. But when you look at the payment plan, it doesn't make sense. So that means in 10 years later, they owe more money than now. What are we going to do? Are we going to go back to the and confiscate the land, or like why are we doing this? So I think it's something wrong here. I just don't get it. Unless someone can explain to me a different way. Yes, I know what you're saying, city manager, but it's still it's together. These two things is together. For us to be able to do that, is like they have to make that agreement or the commitment. But when you look at the commitment, it doesn't make sense. So I don't know what part I'm missing here.
Anthony,
So we came tonight ready to talk about the land transfer, not the agreement that council had already told us to make. So if that's where council wants to go, I'd recommend tabling this. Then we can come back with some further information, because we're not gonna do all those calculations on the spot. We're gonna have to come back with further information.
is there any comments from other councilors? Or,
Okay, thank you.
Culver?
Well, this agreement we got here in front of us is already signed.
That's because council directed us to bring it back signed.
Yes,
Council had already agreed to this agreement, told us to bring it signed, because we tried to do a land transfer. Council said we want to see the signed agreement first. That's why it's back tonight signed for it.
and we had agreed to this, these amounts.
You know, like 10 years. 10 years at $500 a month isn't much. Do we put interest every month on that
Is it the
$500 a
agreement?
month? 10 years at 12.
No, this is only the money on the back,
20
but they
months.
still will be expected to keep their current taxes up to date, right?
Yeah. So that,
CFO?
so at this right there, we should get $6,000 back, hey, roughly. 1.5% of 600. Or $500 a month.
Like I said, I could go to the CFO, but I didn't bring any of that number tonight, because tonight's about the land transfer.
So the 1.5%. Is that on the old month? Or just on the $500 a month?
Yes, Lynn?
They would be paying $6,000 a year. The interest at 1.25% would be different every time they make a payment because you take payment off the total rental. So at the end of 10 years, they paid you $60,000. I was just trying to find in the agreement, there is a clause that if there is any money owing because of the penalties at the end of this agreement, then they have to pay that with private pay. I believe that's all.
I'm good for now, I think.
May 31st, they can have to pay the up. So they would still, there is going to be a balance owing at the end of the term of this agreement. But they only have until May 31st of 2034 to pay that balance. And the other part of this agreement is that during this time of this agreement, they have to ensure that all other utility and tax accounts are kept current so that they're not incurring any further costs.
So all these bills right here are water and taxes, right? For each year. Back to 2016, the city took them back for people that were there to pay.
That's correct. So from the administration's perspective, we've done exactly what council asked. Council wanted us to set up a payment plan based on the proposal that was made and accepted by council. That was done. Council wanted to see it brought back and signed. That was done. And then to transfer the land. That's what tonight's about.
Thank you. Councilor Wong?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You know what, I have to say that under the municipal act, the administration have the obligation to make sure the money that is collected. Yes, I see in this direction, we say we want to have agreement, but this agreement, it doesn't meet the requirement. So you look at the number 1 section there, the property owner hereby acknowledge the debt owing in the amount set forth about the agreement to pay the tax area and penalty and cost. So it's equal payment, $500 a month. So yes, the only advantage right now, they have 2 months to come up, April 30th, 2024, to make the first payment. Maybe we can waive the 2 month of interest, whatever the outcome. But when you start making the payment, every month the interest is $703. I just did the math, 1.25, straightforward, number doesn't lie. So now you make a $500, so you still outstanding $200 of just the interest. So you got to add into the principal. So now you're owing not just the 56,000, it's $56,290.00 plus 2 more hundred on top. The principal is not going to pay down. Just the interest alone, right? So where the money come from the principal? The math is right there.
Your interest will go down every month,
Even though your interest alone is $700,
not every month, because once they make that first payment, then it.
the
will go
payment
down.
of $500 is not even enough to cover the principal. I don't know where the math, I don't know. So to me, 10 years later, it's still 56,000 plus every month there's a 200 outstanding, accumulate for 10 more years. So you're probably owing $70,000 or 80,000, unless something I'm missing here.
The interest is only on the 26,000 to start with, sir.
56 or
No.
56.
So again-
No,
Again,
I don't get
their
it.
payment plan was provided in a separate sheet, which we can bring back. I'm recommending if you would want more information to table it tonight, because you're not gonna come to a resolution. So they proposed how they wanted to pay it. Their methods were used through private financing, through grants, and then through rental property, rentals that they're gonna collect off of another property to cover this one. So if you wanna see all that, we should bring that back so that you can see that and make an informed decision. Because tonight was about the land transfer. This was already told to, agreed to by council. That's why it's here, because we asked to bring this for extra information. But that's not what tonight's resolution is. So if this is gonna be the holdup, I recommend that someone move to table this, set a date, and we'll bring it back with the other information that council has in their previous package. Then they can look at with a payment plan and decide if it's realistic or not.
Or if there's no resolution to table, then we will vote on this as is.
One more question.
Pardon?
So is the 1.2% onto the 56,000, and then there's $500 a month payment? or it's 56,000 next month less, or the 55 plus, then the interest go on that again? Right? So what I'm gonna say is that the interest is $700 a month. And 1.25% on 56,000. Right? Isn't that $700 a month,
Yes.
right? So, okay, it was 1.5, this one is 700, the next month it will be down to, it would be up to more, exactly. Right? Because, like you said, interest is 1.2% every month on the balance. Right, on the balance. Right? And we're getting, okay, if you put 2.25%, I don't know, I'm not that fast with math these days. Right? You know, after this it'd be 1% on 55, get 1.525% on 55,700.
Seeing as how I haven't seen a motion to table. Counselor John,
Yeah, motion to table.
there's a seconder.
I'll second that. Cause I'm confused here too.
And do we have a date to bring this back? Will it need to go back to his committee of the whole first?
Send it to committee of the whole on the 18th of March.
Is it March 18th? So the resolution is to table it until March 18th. Call for a vote on that. Who's in favor? Okay, who's opposed? Is carried to table. 6.3, it's a resolution to approve the early capital purchase for 2 positive pressure dams for the fire department. Resolution 2024-026, moved by Councillor Colburn, second by Councillor McIver. Be it resolved that council approve the early capital purchase for 2 positive pressure dams from ABC Fire and Safety Equipment for their total quoted price of $14,918.40, including taxes. And be it further resolved that this purchase is offset by transfer of funds from the equipment reserve. Administration. Glenn?
Thank you. The memo that was done with at last week's committee, the whole meeting, from the fire chief stated that the fans that we currently have are the original ones that were purchased with the apparatus, and they're no longer able to be serviced as they're obsolete and replacement parts cannot be found. These fans are used to extricate smoke from a burning structure or vehicle. So the recommendation was that we purchase the replacements from ABC Fire and Safety for their total price of $14,918.40.
Thank you. Councillor Colburn is the mover. Do you have any comments?
So let's call it the equipment reserve, right? Seems there's lots of money in there. I'm okay with it. So we need the fans, they're all replacement.
Okay.
You know,
Thank you. Any other comments from councillors? Councillor John?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to know the amount of $14,918.40, is that included labor cost?
That's installed.
These fans are portable.
Portable.
Yeah,
Portable
Portable
fans,
fans.
you need any
they're
labor
kept on
cost?
they're kept in our fire apparatus, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. 6.4 is a resolution to approve amendments to tax deductible donation receipts and trust policy. Resolution 2024-027, moved by Councillor Colburn, second by Councillor Chong. Be it resolved that council approve the amended tax deductible donation receipts and trust policy. To the administration. Lynn?
Thank you, Mayor. So the policy was reviewed by council last week with the changes that were on it. There was one recommendation that we have a date for application or by different groups to have the ability to have a trust account with the city. And we've incorporated that into the agreement as November 30th of each year.
Thank you. Councillor Colburn is a mover, your comment?
Okay. Do these groups, are they a flow through?
No.
Do they put money in this receipts for a donation by the city?
So they would receive a grant, but the city would receive the grant on their behalf.
Okay, so it's flow through.
I'll let the SCFO speak to this.
It's a flow through.
Each approved, each group for the project that's approved, we would open a trust account.
Yeah.
And then the money would be deposited into that trust account. And we would give a tax deductible receipt to the donor. The project that's approved would be, then funded from the trust account under the, terms that are laid out in the policy.
And we are given receipts for this, we're down.
Yes.
So we get 50,000 for the golf course. We turn it over and then we give the golf course a receipt for 50,000.
No.
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 The golf course, if it's the golf course and they're raising funds to do renovations to their clubhouse, they would come forward in the application with their budget and their fundraising plan. Then if you decide to give the golf club $10,000 towards those renovations towards that project, you would pay that money to the city for the trust account, and it would go into their trust account, and we would give you a tax deductible receipt for that.
Okay, I got it now. Thank you, Madro.
Councillor Wong?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think the language gotta be cleaned up, that's good. But you mentioned earlier, CFO, you say the link of the application is not here. I don't see the like how, what's the window for them to apply the grant? And it's not written here. So my second question is, let's say we do put a language into this policy, what is a time frame that's fair for people to apply?
I mean, you don't have.
Yeah, I sure can.
The one we have is the newer version, right? The one.
Yeah, the one in the highlighted red, it says the application deadline for trust accounts will be no later than November 30th prior to the year of applying for the grant money for special projects. On page 3,
Number 1, sorry.
it's in red,
We have 6 pages, right?
correct,
So page what?
3,
Three.
highlighted in red.
So
sorry, if you go to, not the highlighted changes, if you go to the other one, the tax deductible donation receipt and trust, it's a cleaner version. So it's a second attached document, Yeah.
application, okay.
and then page 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My signal keeps.
why?
Turn this off.
Fitzpatrick, you weren't on mute,
Sorry, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, can I continue?
comes along, but
Can I continue? Good question. So we put the time is November third, so is that all the grant always issued before that, every year? Is that there's a time or?
If they're applying for a grant, for example, the community foundation usually receives their grants in March of every year. The Canadian government and provincial government usually call for grant applications to be submitted by February of every year. So if they want to establish a trust account and be ready for those grant applications that we could flow through the trust account, then they should make application to the city by November 30th, and that will give them the ability to apply for those grants in the following year.
So, okay, sorry, if you say those are from the government, what about the community future? They probably have a different deadline, right? Is that before?
Normal, the reason I put November 30th was so that if, for example, in 2024, the groups are looking forward to applying for grants for the 2025 fiscal year, then if they have everything, all the ducks in a row with their trust account set up by the end of December of 2024, then there's no problem with them making that application and still qualify.
Okay, whatever the practical works, so to me, it's just like the date is just, I don't know. Thank
any
you.
other questions?
No,
You're
thank you.
finished? Thanks. Any other questions? Okay, call for the question, all those in favor? Carried. Six point five is a resolution to approve the tabulation of prices for electrical services for the city owned building. Resolution 2024-028, moved by Councillor John, second by Councillor McIver. Be it resolved, the council approves the recommendation of the purchasing department and award electrical services to KNC Electric for 2 years for their tendered estimated price of $232,691.20 as per tender file number 10224. Administration.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. The city required electrical services is a standing contract we've had for numerous years. Our past contract was a 3-year contract that expired on December the 31st. So we prepared an RFT. It was published earlier on this year. Again, with a table looking for hourly rates for the various services that would be required. For example, standard electrical services on top of the required a lift truck or lift device. It was open for a period of 2 weeks, I believe it was. We had one bid received. That was from KNC Electrical. The bid, the tabulation table is attached to your briefing binder. Again, what was provided was the hourly rates. We've used estimated hours from past years to come up with the total price tag for this contract.
Thank you. Councillor Chong is the mover. Do you have any comments?
Yes, my question is, okay, you estimated this price down there. If what happened, they can't finish the price, like, let's say your budget 232. So let's say they only charge you 200,000. What happened to the $32,000?
So what happens is it's not the total price tag. I've used estimated hours from the past. They bill on an hourly rate. That's what they provided us with is the hourly rates. So they bid jobs, they provide the hourly rate, and also in the table is their allowed material markup. That's what's in the table. That's what they price the job on. The bottom price tag, Councillor, the 232, that's just an estimated what the expected cost is over 2 years based on past number of hours.
Okay. So when you have this estimate, that means we have the budget for this amount, or
that's what we would look at, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then, excuse me if I'm wrong, if it goes over this amount, you come back to council and say you need more money
Yeah,
to fulfill this contract.
and it all comes out of the repair and maintenance budgets, and every different building has an R and M budget that we would pull from. So if we exceed our R and Ms, then yeah, that's how.
Thank you. Any other quick comments from council? Councilor Wong?
Thank you, Madam. I just want to clarify one comment that the director made last time. We said the city don't have any electrician on staff anymore. I thought we just hired a Red Seal not long ago.
We have, that's in the, out of spec, he's our facility manager, so he, in that role, is not able to do electrical work, it's not a unionized role, it's a staff role.
I still not supporting this because I did mention about last meeting about why I think is a better way to do this, so I will stand by my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from councilors? Seeing none, I'll hear the question. Who's in favor of this motion? Opposed? Carried. Six point six, the resolution to approve the Schneider Electric System Canada upgrades to the water treatment plant. Resolution 2024-029, moved by Councillor Chong, seconded by Councillor McIver. Be it resolved the council approve an early capital purchase from Schneider Electric Systems Canada to supply a second spare server, upgrade the current server to the latest software version, and upgrade the obsolete switches to current switches at a cost not to exceed $72,007.15, plus all applicable taxes. Be it there resolved that these purchases are offset by a transfer from the machinery and equipment reserve for the plant administration.
Yeah, so this Foxborough SCADA system is the brain of the water plant. It controls all the processes within the plant. Currently, the way the system is set up, there is only one system in place. And if anything happens to that system, there is no backup. So the department had a failure a few weeks ago that took an extended time to fix. It had no backup during that process. Therefore, they've come up with a plan here, which is proposed tonight, to put in place a secondary backup system, as well as to upgrade the software to the latest version until such time as the new software package would come out from the Water Services Board in the next year or two.
Thank you. Councillor Chong is the mover.
Yes. After you put this space server, can this space server be used if the new system is going to come in, or it's going to be obsolete again?
I believe it may be obsolete. I don't have that exact answer. I believe that the server systems are set based on the latest architecture, because this is an old one. This is an older server architecture that is set to support this older software.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from councillors? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Six point seven is a resolution to approve the tax deductible application for the Thompson Recycling Center. Resolution 2024-030, moved by Councillor Wong, seconded by Councillor Chong. Whereas on February 26, 2024, Council passed resolution number 2024-027, approving the amendment tax deductible donation receipts and tax policy. And whereas the tax deductible receipt application has been submitted by Thompson Recycling Center for two projects: exterior cladding to be installed in the building and internal ceiling and wall repairs. Now therefore be it resolved that council approve the tax deductible receipt application submitted by the Thompson Recycling Center. Administration, Lynn?
Really don't have anything further to, add other than when you do the application, you need to conformed with all of the requirements of the. I recommend this be passed.
Thank you. Councilor Wong, Ms. Mover, do you have any comments?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do have a little bit of comment about this. I think it's a good thing, so at least they can get some funding from elsewhere. So we can mitigate some of our burden, so which is good. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council comments? Well, for the question, all those in favor? Councilor Fitzpatrick, are you in favor? Thank you. Six point eight, the resolution to approve tax. Deductible application for the ski club incorporated. Resolution 2024-031, moved by Councilor Colburn, seconded by Councilor Chalmers. Whereas in February 26, 2024, Council passed resolution 2024-027, approving the amended tax deductible donation receipts and trust policy. And whereas tax deductible, whereas a tax deductible receipt application has been submitted by Thompson Ski Club Incorporated for the replacement of the aging ski equipment. Now therefore be it resolved, council approve the tax deductible receipt application submitted by the Thompson Ski Club. Administration.
Thank you. I don't have anything further to add other than they also have, submitted their completed application and everything is in order.
Thank you, Councilor Colburn. As the mover, do you have any comments?
I'm okay with this. It's, pretty well on the same basis as 6.7.
Thank you. Any other comments from councilors? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Six point nine is a resolution to approve the tax deductible application for the Thompson Trailbreaker Snowmobile Park. Resolution 2024-032, moved by Councilor Wong, second by Councilor Chalmers. Whereas on February 26, 2024, Council passed resolution 2024-027, approving the amended tax deductible donation receipts and trust policies. And whereas a tax deduction receipt application has been submitted by the Thompson Trailbreaker Snowmobile Club to purchase a utility snowmobile to pull sleighs that will carry the supplies required to maintain the trails. Now therefore be it resolved that council approve the tax deductible receipt application submitted by the Thompson Trailbreaker Snowmobile Club. Lynn?
Thank you. The application was circulated earlier this afternoon. We only have the letter as of last week's meeting when we were looking at this. The Trailbreakers Snowmobile Club is planning to enter into fundraising and grant applications to raise the money for this piece of equipment, which cost is estimated to be $230,000. We recommend that this be approved.
Thank you. Councilor Wong, is the mover.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say a lot of those organizations, they run by volunteer basis, so I will support this resolution. Hopefully they can get some funding and help out. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from other councilors? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Just before I adjourn tonight, I'd like to thank everybody that participated in Winterfest this past weekend. It was very successful. I'd like to especially to give our staff a big shout out. They had wrestling going on, they had hockey games, they had kids tournaments. the bonfire, everything. It was absolutely great to see the huge crowds out there. So thank you to our staff for all the hard work they put into this, and thank you to the community and surrounding areas that attended this weekend. With that, we'll call for adjournment. All those in favor? Oh, I know I need somebody to first make the move. Counselor McIver, Counselor Colton, all in favor. There we go. You're now, thank you.
You're adjourned.
See you, Louis.
Bye, Louis. Enjoy the holiday.